Chag Sameach, everybody. I hope you are well and having a good Pesach if you observe Pesach or the Passover. And a huge hello to all our Israel Brief family around the world. Missed you guys yesterday, but it was a sacred holiday and we don't broadcast on Jewish sacred holidays. But we are here today. And let me tell you, it is boiling hot in Israel. We are having 2 days of intense heat. You might hear a fan droning on in the background. And if you are in Israel, just remember, guys, drink a lot of water. Okay, my Jewish mommy time over. If this is the first time you are visiting, I am Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, brought to you every Monday to Thursday by these guys, Lay of the Land, where we bring you the top stories making headlines in Israel. Yesterday was a very, very painful milestone for Israelis. We marked 200 days since the start of Israel's war with Hamas, which means that for 200 days, over 130 people remain hostage by terror organization Hamas. We know that at least over 30 of them are dead, have been murdered by Hamas, and it is our hope that the rest are still alive. We want them home now. Bring them home now. Today is day 201. So let's take a look at the top stories making headlines, and all eyes have been on what is happening on US campuses. On Monday, we spoke about Columbia University, and earlier today, Minouche Shafik, the president of Columbia, and even though she extended the deadline, it gave the directive to dismantle the Gaza encampment. Now, what has been horrifying is this aggressive, abusive, violent type of protesting, because please make no mistake, despite what Mehdi Hassan or Owen Jones or people from the far left are telling you, they are very, very violent. I'm just going to read to you a list of some of the things that have been said and done on the campuses around the United States. And over the weekend, NYPD, that's New York Police Department officers, arrested over 50 protesters from Yale University as well. And we know that other campuses are also setting up these encampments. So here is what we have been hearing on these campuses. Chants of "We are Hamas" and "Bomb Tel Aviv." October the 7th will happen to American Jewish students 10,000 times over. American Jews are Al-Qassam's next target. A Jewish student got stabbed in the eye. Israeli Arab activist beaten up. Liquid thrown at Jewish students to prevent them from getting to their dorms. A human chain created to block one Jewish student from reaching her dorm. Jews being told to go back to Europe. The university rabbi asking students to go home as they are not safe on campus. School cancelled and classes moved to Zoom on Columbia campus to protect Jewish students. An Israeli flag burnt. Students encouraged to become martyrs for Palestine. Jewish Israeli professor, that's Shai Davidai, barred from campus because the university can't ensure his safety. That is just a glimpse of what is happening on university campuses. Now, of course, many campus buildings are emblazoned with the names of Jewish philanthropists who have given generously to universities. Two of them are Robert Kraft and Leon Cooperman, who have temporarily divested their funds until this is sorted out. Now, what seems quite strange to me is if you look at these encampments, all the tents seem to match. It seems very, very highly coordinated and very, very highly organized and funded. And now American officials, including a host of senators, are asking who is behind these protests, who is organizing them. One thing we know is that for Jewish students, and actually for Jewish communities watching this happen, is where do we go from here? I addressed it a bit on Monday. I'm raising the issue now. What we need are our allies, not just standing with us, but being vocal. I know that Jewish students at Columbia University will be holding their own counter rally. And if you are in New York, I urge you to find out when that is and join these students, show your solidarity. What we are seeing now was last witnessed on university campuses in 1938. We know how that ended. The IDF have called completely baseless accusations that they dug mass graves in an area close to 2 hospitals after they had left. They say that while they did exhume some graves that were known to check if there were bodies of hostages that were buried there, they most certainly did not dig mass graves to execute Palestinians. Now, this is a claim made by the UN Human Rights Council, who are yet to condemn the atrocities of the 7th of October. They have said that these corpses, none of which we have seen photographs of, have been cable-tied or bound by the hands and the feet. We know that many hostages were cable-tied by the hands and the feet. And who knows what Hamas have done to Palestinians who they interrogate as well. The IDF have said this is absolutely fabricated and they did not do it. The European Union have called for a probe. Staying with the United Nations, and Israel is absolutely furious that the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has not included Hamas on the blacklist of sexual violators. This is absolutely preposterous if you consider just over a month ago the United Nations woman or UN woman who took 3 months to condemn the crimes against humanity of a sexual nature committed against Israeli women, girls, some men and some boys, which we know is still going on while we have hostages being held by Hamas. They released their damning report, which said that there is no shadow of a doubt that crimes of a sexual nature, rape, violence, mutilation were committed by Hamas against Israeli women and girls, that these were atrocities that really left them brutally shaken to the core. They took testimony of survivors, of our witnesses. They viewed over 2,000 photographs and footage of atrocities committed against Israeli women and girls, which is still ongoing. We know from the testimony of survivors and of hostages that have come back to Israel that this is ongoing. At least 2 hostage or former hostages have testified to themselves being sexually violated. And the United Nations cannot bring themselves, the absolute head of the organization cannot bring itself or himself to condemn this or add the Hamas to the blacklist. This is not just a betrayal of Israeli women and girls. This is also a betrayal of all victims of sexual violence. And finally, the Monday night, we all gathered together to start the first night of Pesach, or Lila Seder, the Seder. And I can't say that we celebrated here in Israel. We are still in a sense of great mourning, and also massively concerned about our 133 hostages still being held by Hamas. We feel we can't be free until they are free. Nevertheless, Israelis gathered with family and friends. Nearly everybody kept an empty space or an empty chair at the Seder table, something or a tradition that was repeated around the world in order to raise awareness of the hostages. We all said special prayers for the hostages, praying that they are released soon. And on Hostage Square, the families of hostages gathered to hold their Seder with a special Haggadah printed at the printing press on Be'eri. Be'eri, as you will remember, was one of the most hardest hit kibbutzim on the 7th of October. And the survivors of Be'eri also had their communal Seder. very, very moving footage of young Emily Hand, who was held hostage singing Manish Tana. Why is this night different from all other nights? And an incredibly moving plea by the family, the parents of Hirsch Goldberg Polin, who remains in Hamas captivity. Hirsch famously with his arm blown off, that footage of that we have all seen. His parents ask the fifth question, why aren't they free? And as the world moves on and continues to forget, we at the Israel Brief ask you, our family, our friends, our allies, please to continue to speak on behalf of the hostages, demand that they be freed. I have to say a thank you to the foreign ministers of Canada and the United Kingdom yesterday, who said we mark day 200. It's time to immediately release the hostages. That brings me to the end of today's edition of the Israel Brief. Please don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our YouTube channel is right here at the Israel Brief. If you like our content, please consider subscribing and, of course, sharing. We are on Facebook at Lottel's site and on X at Lay of the Land 5. Guys, I want to say Muadim L'Simcha as much as you possibly can. Chag Pesach Sameach. Have a wonderful Pesach. Have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless you. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll join again tomorrow. Bye for now.